I want to drive. I'd like to go back kind of doing what I was doing.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at you. Do you remember how this started? Not all strokes are the same. Like we, I think, have a picture in our head of what a stroke patient is supposed to look like, or somebody living with a stroke. And that is not how it is.
There are certain patterns that certain strokes follow, but Ken's was very atypical.
We also call this stroke syndrome Wallenberg syndrome. And you know, this stroke can be somewhat distinct in just the number of effects or impairments that it produces.
He couldn't do this. He could not let go. He would have fallen over. His main issues were vision, swallowing, speech, and balance.
My first interaction with Ken was when he was in the intensive care unit about 24 hours after his stroke. You were so dizzy at the beginning. Being part of the inpatient and acute Mary Free Bed team at University of Michigan Health West, we are seen as part of the intensive care team. We work together with the nurses and physicians to get rehab started within the first day or so after somebody arrives in the hospital and is being treated for stroke. So Dr. Reisig was able to come and observe a therapy session.
A lot of times we are transitioning patients from University of Michigan Health West over to Mary Free Bed to throw themselves into definitive inpatient rehabilitation, and Ken was a great candidate for that.
When he was done with Mary Free Bed, he was discharged at a wheelchair level only, so no standing, no walking.
We're incredibly blessed to have Mary Free Bed therapists over at University of Michigan Health West, and the fact that he was able to follow up thereafter and continue his rehabilitation efforts, it allowed us to pick up where we had left off and to make further gains.
Tina was, I just can't say enough good for her. She was awesome, she really was.
We did have some pretty frank conversations right from the beginning that you're never going to be the same as you were the day before you had your stroke, right? This is something that is permanent. We can't restore your brain cells. We can't magically make them grow again. But we can certainly capitalize on what you've got left, and we can try to wake up the other areas of the brain and get them to jump in on the action.
She gave him challenges.
Yeah.
Every time we went, there was challenges. There were times when she would do things and she'd say, now, you can do this at home.
So we worked on walking. That was probably the biggest thing that we did right from the get-go. And then balancing the parallel bars.
And I still walk a lot.
She would give us things to do and we'd do them, but you have to do them. I mean, it doesn't come automatic. It takes a lot of hard work.
He did so much repetition of anything that I told him to do. He would just go home and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. And that made all the difference.
We were always taught, God gives every bird its food, but does not drop it in their nest. They have to go out. We are the ones that had to work at this.
Yeah.
I think people should realize that just because you have a stroke doesn't mean that's the end of your life. Modify, adapt, move on. There's ways of doing things. So like Ken loves to drive, truck, that was his whole life. Can't do that anymore. Well, now what? He cuts grass. So he's not on the road, he's safe, he's within the confines of the fence, so he's not gonna go anywhere, but he's still doing something that he loves to do.
And I love it, it's just to get on that tractor, that's part of my lifestyle, that's what I did every day. I'm 80 years old, but I've worked all my life still. And so I'm kind of used to that. That's my lifestyle. And I miss it. I really do. And so that gives you some more motivation.
I can say that it makes a difference in the care of patients, to be able to communicate so freely.
It's hard work.
It is.
But it's rewarding.